Dom Haddy here with Stare Down TV. I'm here with the killer Brad Tarren. Brad, put it this way. So I saw Brad last month at MTK MMA show in York Hall. When the ring walk is longer than the fight, is that a good thing for you? Are you a bit like you just said to me there? You did 12-week camp for that. What was the
12-week camp, mate? And first of all, the ring walk. So obviously, we get told, right, you walk out, you need to stand in front of the MTK banner for a little bit, and then eventually walk to the ring or the cage even. But I was expecting some sort of prompt for me to start walking to the cage, but I didn't get that prompt. So I was just stood shadow boxing in front of the banner for about 10 minutes. So I felt like that anyway. So I guess that's why my ring walk was long, but also my fight was very short.
It was, man.
You know what? It's a shame, really, because, like I said before, I had a 12-week camp prepare for a guy called Daryl John, who looked a bit of a handful, and I guess he was going to, I was hoping he was going to be a bit of a test for myself, but unfortunately he pulled out about a week to go. So thankfully I got a replacement, and I'm grateful for Aaron to step in on such short notice, because Joe Calbuta, my teammate, his opponent pulled out the day before, so he was cutting his weight, to the point where he was starting to lose, cut the water. The day before, his guy pulled out and he didn't get to fight. So I'm thankful that I got to fight, but unfortunately, it wasn't the test that I wanted. And obviously, for Aaron, it's his job, I guess. He got called up last minute. Doesn't want to. I guess he didn't want to take on too much damage. So the fight lasted, how long was it? 15 seconds, 20 seconds?
Yeah, I think it was 18. So I got it. If anyone wants to watch it, it's on my highlights. But yeah, I think it's literally about 18 seconds. And the ref, I was right in front.
Well, the one I had in Newcastle, that was 19 seconds. So
yeah.
I beat that one by a second.
But I was literally, to be fair, the ref, he made that call. You threw a knee. He went. I don't think he was going for a single leg. I don't know what he was doing, but literally he dropped down and you landed a knee. And the ref jumped straight in and straight away. I heard the ref say it. He went, mismatch. You can't lie. I'm not going to continue it.
The thing is, the ref's there obviously to look after the fighters.
Oh yeah, can't.
But I didn't know what happened, because obviously I hit him with the right hand and then I went to knee him in the chest. That was the aim, but he's gone down off my right hand. I think I ended up grazing his face, and obviously with the URA rules, that's not allowed. But they did say if you do shoot, or you do go down and the knee is already thrown, then it's all right. My intention was not to knee him in the face. You
could tell that it was in motion. You threw it and you were already lifting, and he just sort of dropped, and it could have been construed as a single leg, but no, you could tell you were not looking to knee him in the head. So I think that's why there was no sort of controversy, and straight from literally the get-go, it was you can't say much, but you were just on him. So
putting the pressure on him. That's what I was told to do. Just put it on him. Thankfully, my team and my coach, we drill for specific situations, and so far, all my fights, my coach has got it spot on, and he's sort of predicted what could happen and how we're going to deal with it, and he had an idea that was going to happen. So, yeah, it's a win. I can't complain about that, but I do want to test, and that wasn't the test that I wanted. The ref as well, it was a bit unclear what happened, because the ref was, he was like, it's a mismatch, he's done, this is out of order. And I felt like saying, I don't make the matches.
Yeah.
I can only fight who's put in front of me.
And like you say, it was a last-minute turnaround, and fair play that somebody stepped in. I saw on the day of the fights, I was chatting to Tony at the beginning, and he was like, some people, they just bottle it, they just drop out and all this stuff. And it's obviously a frustrating thing to put on fight. So when there is somebody who's willing to step in, even, call it a mismatch, you don't know.
That's it, mate. It's a massive part of the game. Obviously, it's a very stressful game on the body. You do get injuries, niggles constantly. So it's not unheard of that people are dropping out. Whether it was because of an injury, I know Daryl John was he's a heavyweight, a big heavyweight, or he's fought, in the heavyweight category. So I had a feeling he wasn't going to get his weight down to 93. Because, I walk around about 102 normally, and I get down all right, but towards the end, it can get a little bit tough. And I know he had his last fight, I think he was 110 or 108 or around that region. So that's a lot of weight to come. So, that was one of my suspicions. But, it happens. It's a part of the game, unfortunately. So, like, like Joe, it could have, what happened to Joe could have happened to me, and that would have been quite demoralising because having a 12-week camp to then not fight, it can be, it's mentally draining. Do you know what I mean? Like you prepare and you put yourself through a lot of stress to prepare yourself for the fight and not to fight. Poor Joe, man, but it is what it is.
And that's what you say, especially in the amateur game, because with pros, if you don't fight, you don't get paid. With the amateur game, that's not the case. So it's a lot easier for people to drop out. So if someone to step in, it's tough. But that is a big weight cut from Daryl. It's especially if you've always sort of fought at heavyweight. If you've kind of bounced between, say, for example, middle, welter, lightweight, you've always sort of fluctuated.
Yeah.
If you're a heavyweight, someone says you're right, let's lose 16 kg. You're like, what? I've never had to do that before.
The thing is, right, I mean, the fight got accepted in, I think it was December, for us obviously to fight in April, and it's all good and well saying, April, that's no problem. But when it comes down to it, it's, like, especially the last few weeks for me, I wanted to keep my weight heavy. I wanted to stay heavy for Daryl until the last week and then drop my weight a little bit, because normally I diet down right to 93. So I was sitting around 98, 99, just to keep on a bit of size for the likes of Daryl, who was a big guy. So it got to the last couple of weeks and I was still 90, 98, 97. So then I had to cut water for the first time. So that was another experience that I've never had before. And I had to do 4 kilograms in the sauna, which was a bit of a funny experience. Like, I've never done that, but I got it off. So that's another thing that I've gone through, which sort of makes you as a fighter. So if I do need to cut water in the future, I know what to expect.
I can imagine.
The pro game, I will be cutting water because I will want to stay a bit big for the category, if you know what I mean.
No, 100%, mate, 100%. So you've had 4? You've had 4 MMA bouts now, amateur, right?
4 UAR, and that was the last one. My next one out's going to be a pro bout, pro rules.
Do you know when that'll be?
It's just been confirmed actually on the 15th of June. It's going to be in the northeast on a show called Total Combat. I don't know if you've heard of that before.
I have, yeah. I've seen some footage of that.
Total Combat. It was actually where I had my first fight on that show. So I guess it's quite fitting to have my first pro fight on that show as well. So I'm looking forward to it. Don't know too much about my opponent yet, but I'll have to do a little bit of research into him. Just sort of getting back into training. So I'll start worrying about these things over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, you said that. So you've been off for around 3 weeks now?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've still been training. I'm never, like sedentary or become inactive. That's not a part of me. Like, I've got to do something. It's my job. I was going to
say, mate, you look terrible right now, mate. What are you on about?
But it's my job as well. Like, I'm an S&C coach. I train a lot of the boys' S&Cs in the gym. I'm a PT, so like I can't afford to fall out of shape. I've just given my body a bit of a rest from the MMA, the grappling, because it can be harsh on the body. And towards the last camp, because it was so long, I jumped into camp with Tommy Quinn, Joe Calbooten for their Bellator fights. So I jumped in with them straight after Christmas. They had a 5-week camp, and it went straight into mine, which was a good 8 weeks. So like it did start to. I mean, I love training. Towards the last, the end of the last camp, I was actually counting down the sessions to how long I had left, and how long I had left until it was done. So that's never really happened before. But I think the length of the camp.
Exactly, mate. And I suppose for most fighters, it's their S&C coach who will tell them when to tone it down and when to rest it up. I imagine it must be harder as you've got that experience to know that. Okay, as a professional, maybe I should tone it down here, but you also don't want to be seen as I'm an S&C coach. I know, and it must be a tough sort of battle with yourself internally.
Listen, it's like anything. You've got to find the balance. When I first started this fight game, I thought I had to be training 3 times a day. I'm fighting. I need to be in the condition of my life, so I need to train in the morning, train midday, train in the evening. And it was just far too much, and I ended up like. I missed out on 2 fights because of that, and just injuring myself and overtraining, not doing enough. So now, like, I know when I need to rest. But like, aside from that, this particular camp, because it was going to be a test, I was putting myself through my coach was putting me through some brutal conditions. I was prepared. I was ready to go for 3 minutes of hell with Daryl. and that's what I prepare for. And for it to be over in 20 seconds is just like, oh God, all of that, is it for nothing?
Yeah.
But it's not for nothing because I'm so, like I'm early stage of the game. Like every session is very valuable because I'm learning something, every day, and I'm sort of on that sort of that trend of every session I'm learning. I mean, I know people plateau, but because I'm new to the game, like I'm still learning new every day. So it's not a waste of time, but just the stressful conditioning, I guess that was a bit of a waste because I didn't need to go for that. But I'd rather need and not have than have and not need. All the way around. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, mate. I get that. If you knew that you were going to fight that Aaron sort of from the get-go, I mean, you still would have worked hard, but it would have been a different mindset. But you knew you in your whole training camp for, I'm gonna fight a big, strong Daryl John here, so I'm gonna outcondition him.
That's
So
it, mate. I mean, that is probably one of my one of my main sort of weapons in my artillery. I am fit, and I am there to go if needs be, and that's what I prepare for. That's what I sort of brought from. Because I was in, like my previous training, I was into bodybuilding, but fitness, CrossFit style stuff. So like I brought that fitness into the MMA game, and now it's obviously just learning the technique, my jiu-jitsu, my MMA, my grappling, my wrestling. But yeah, I mean, look, imagine that I didn't prepare myself like that, and then I do get into some sort of altercation where someone is fit and strong, and I don't want to be in that place where I'm in the third round and I can't keep my hands up, and I'm gassed out my ass. Like that's happened before in training, like the start of the training camp when I'm sparring and I'm like, second round in and I'm absolutely in bits. It's not a nice place to be. And that's when you start, having them mental battles with yourself. So I don't want to be in that place ever. So I'll always prepare myself as much as I have done. See you in a bit, lad. As much as I have done for this fight. I won't be going and thinking, that one was only lasted 20 seconds, so I won't do my condition this time. No, I'll be there every single time, ready for that battle. That 15-minute battle now. If I turn pro, obviously it turns to 3-5s. So I'm there for the 3 rounds if need be.
Good to hear, mate. That's good to hear. I know of you've heard stories of some amateurs. Look, they're training hard, but they're not. They keep sort of telling themselves, "Oh, I'll wait till I go pro and then I'll push it." But if it's already in the mindset,
yeah, I mean that for me, that's a poor mindset. Like you need to prepare. You need to prepare for anything. My second fight was the only test that I've really had, and that was against a guy called Brian Draper, and that was at heavyweight bout. So that's when I thought really I shouldn't be fighting at heavyweight because I am a small heavyweight, and he was a tough kid. I couldn't put him away.
You got unanimous, didn't you? Yeah.
Couldn't put him away, mate. But I had to put it on him because if I let him settle, he's a talented kickboxer. He would have picked us to bits. So I had to get in his face. I had to push the pace. And I mean, towards the end of that, I was goosed. But it showed me. I learned a lot about myself that fight. I know I can have a straightener if I need to. I know I can take a dig, and I know I'm there for the duration if I have to be. You don't really learn much from these 20-second bouts. That's what I was thinking. I was like, what if this happens? What if that happens? I didn't know, but now I do, and I learned a lot from that fight. I've learned more from that fight than I have anything really.
Yeah.
Training's there to pay for that, but you don't. Like the training's training. A fight is a fight. The man is trying to kill you. He's trying to take your head off. Trying to snap your limbs. Like you've got to. It's a very different environment to your training environment because, your partners are there. Your training partners are there to push you. They're not there to kill you. Like it's in a fight, it's kill or be killed. And if you're not in that mentality, well, I guess you need to reassess that mentality. It's not going to be an easy run.
Yeah, it's true, man. I think a lot of the time, when you hear the stories of people saying in the gym they're a killer, but when it comes to the game day, they're just not there. Another thing I think that could be enough factor is, in your gym, everyone wants you to do well, so everyone's behind you. You go to an environment where maybe you're, obviously you're a northern lad. You came down and say you fought a London boy on the MTK show. There may have been a higher amount of Southern fans, not wanting you to do well.
That's what I wanted. I wanted that.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear some boos. Like I'm so used to. I had a good little following there.
Yeah, you did, mate.
People, and but I wanted.
All your fans were the good dressed ones as well. I could tell they were the ones who was dressed up. I noticed that.
I won't show them that because it'll just grow the egos even more. Yeah, but I'm sort of like, obviously I've had 3 fights in the Northeast. I've had all my friends there, my family's there, and like it's I'm coming out smiling. Like I've got a smile but I wanted to have the hostile environment this time, but I guess I didn't get it. But never mind. I will find that at some point.
That's it, mate. And so you're saying you're fighting June 15th. I was chatting to John Gillies at MTK, and there's talks of potentially sort of September time. There may be the next MTK show. If all goes well, would you look to hop onto the September one as well?
Of course I would. I would love to jump on the MTK. I love the MTK shows. You know, they're put together well. Always brings a good atmosphere. And, you know, like I know a lot of the staff. You know, I work for MTK Newcastle, so I'm part of the brand. So I would love to fight on the show anytime. I don't know. I mean, have you heard where it's meant to be? Is it meant to be in the northeast? Is it down south? Do we know?
I don't know for sure. I think it's going to be up north though.
Yeah, I mean, so MTK Newcastle hosted a boxing show on Friday night.
I saw the stuff. Yeah.
It was a mint card, and it was at the Eagles. So the Eagles are a basketball team in Newcastle. It was at the Eagles Arena. They just had a brand new arena built, and what a show it was! What a setup! So would love to run an MMA show there, and obviously put the MTK name to that as well, because it was a great evening.
So Peter Beardsley was there.
I think sometimes, I mean, venues, it doesn't matter. I mean, I've fought in some shitholes, and the atmosphere's been mint. But it's always nice to fight in you know, a brand sparking, brand new venue, and that's what it was. It was a bang on setup. So hopefully we can bring that and put on a decent show again. I know the MTK shows always put on a decent show, so to have them in the northeast is, you know, it's a privilege.
Yeah, that's
to be
it,
part of it is an even bigger privilege.
Yeah, I saw Peter Beardsley was in attendance for the MTK Newcastle.
I didn't see him, unfortunately, because I would have captured him if he did. He's a bit of a hero of mine when I was a kid. I've had a picture with him before when I was a Ben, but I didn't see him, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's like 3'6", so he's hard to miss. He's easy to miss.
He's easy to miss, mate. Aye.
No, so you know, talking about MTK Newcastle, you know, MTK is growing as MMA, but it's originally as a boxing gym. How is it, the split? Obviously, at MTK Newcastle, there is obviously a good split of that. Are you a part of it, or?
Yeah, I mean, we found... So, before MTK, it was MTK Newcastle. It was the Bad Boy Training Centre. But the Bad Boy Training Centre was organised under a previous owner. So then he lost the rights to have the Bad Boy brand. So then the two new owners took over, which was Richie Knox and Gary Forrest. And then they established a business relationship with MTK. And then it became MTK Newcastle. So it was my responsibility as the manager to refurb the gym to be able to cater for the pro boxers. So we could have the pro boxing coaching going on as well as the MMA at the same time. So once all that was done, the pro boxers came in. And what did start, I mean, obviously we had Tommy Quinn, Joe Calbutin fighting as our pros. And Tommy was doing his bits and bobs, different gyms in the northeast. But it was just me and Joe really training with Richie, who is now our main coach, Richie Knox, ex-pro MMA fighter, black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. And it was just me and Joe. And I mean, as valuable as it was, because it was pretty much a one-on-one with a BJJ black belt, which in London, you know, that's going at, what, 120 an hour? So to get that sort of level of coaching for nothing as a favour, you know, from Rich was an absolute privilege. So it was just me and Joe. But recently, we've started to develop a team, and the guys that had a bit of experience within MTK Newcastle with MMA or Jiu-Jitsu have started to jump on the morning classes. So luckily, obviously, I work in the gym. Tommy works in the gym. There's a few other guys which don't work during the day, so we train every morning. We're about a stable of 10 fighters now, and I think 7 or 8 of them are fighting this Total Combat show. So we've started to develop a little bit of a team.
Yeah.
So it's not just getting chinned off Richie. You still get chinned off Richie, but you've got a few other guys to roll with, a few other guys to spar with. And it's good to test yourself with different levels. You know, like Tommy always says, you know, you need someone that you can chin. You need someone that is a similar level and someone that can put you in your place.
Yeah, you don't want to be the worst or the best, do you?
That's
you're the best,
mate.
you ain't learning, you're the worst, you're just getting demoralised.
That's it. I mean, like, look, don't get us wrong. I've had my lickings, like, I've had my lickings a lot, and it toughens you up. But you don't want to have them all the time. But you don't want to be pasting people all the time, because you don't learn anything from that. You need the 3 grounds, I think. The middle ground is good because you test yourself against someone your level. You know, you get humility from your coaches who can, you know, do what they want to you. And then you get to test your skills out on people that are not as good as you. You know, try things that you wouldn't normally try with people the likes of your level. So it's good to have the 3, and we've got that in the gym, thankfully.
That's it, mate. For example, I went out on. I was out on Sunday. I was out in Chelsea, and somebody in my boxing gym must have saw, because we had boxing training on Monday night. My coach was like, "Cool, let's do 12 rounds of sparring. Let's do some technical. Let's do some conditioning. Let's do some technical sparring." And you can feel it, mate. It's horrible when you're in that sort of deep water. It is absolutely demoralising, but you know why at the
Especially
same
when you're
time.
being out, mate.
And that's it.
I've sparred over, and to be honest, there's been times I was like, what the hell? How have I managed to do that well? Yeah. There's also times it's just pulling yourself to the gym and warming up. It's like, oh God, what am I doing? Yeah. And then you're regretting them decisions that you made the night before.
Everything was like 2 seconds. I'd do a good step. I'd get out of a good shot. I'd stand there, I'd be like, that was a good shot, and then I'd get it again. I'd be like, okay, that's just the alcohol slowing me down a little bit. But it is a horrible feeling, mate. Look, Brad, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, pal. So what's the rest of the you said you're fighting June 15th now. So is it fight camp ready to go, or is it
fight camp has started. You know what? Like, because I did get myself in really good condition for the last one, even though I've had a 3-week layoff. Was on we done some jiu-jitsu this morning and 3 5-minute rounds on the Thai pads, and I was expecting to be blown out my ass, but you know what? I was pretty fresh. So I've definitely kept on to that fitness that I developed for myself, months ago. But I've had a break. You know, like my body has recovered, and you need it, because if you don't take your recovery, you just run yourself in the ground. But you think in your mind, oh, I've had 3 weeks off, my fitness has gone back to zilch. You know, it's gone back to zero, but that's wrong as well. Yeah. It's just these little mind games that you play with yourself. So I feel fit again. I'm just ready to get back in the camp. You know, just waiting to look, see who this opponent is, and I just want, I want to steamroll him. I want to get through this guy, and I want to get myself a decent little pro record, and hopefully get some big fights with some decent guys. You know, I'm looking at the light heavyweight division, and I'm looking all the way to the top. Like I'm looking at the Bellator top 10, and I'm setting myself them high standards, because that's where I want to be. I don't do things by half. If I do something, I'm doing it. I'm 31. I've got a specific shelf life left on this game, so I might as well give it a good blast while I can. And like I was getting through my late 20s because of my job. I wanted to fight. I've always wanted to fight, and for one reason or another, I couldn't. And I was thinking, I'm going to get to the end of my sort of physical prime and think, shit, I've never done that. And I would kick myself. But thankfully, I've got my finger up my ass, and here I am. I'm in the game, and I'm going to give it my best try. I'm going to give it my best shot.
That's perfect, man. Look, there's fighters out there. Perfect example, Jimmy Manuel. I don't think he started training properly till he was like 29.
That's it, mate.
And look where he is. If you've obviously got the physicality, you've got the mindset, you've got the work ethic, and you've got the surroundings around you, you've got the people around you. There's no reason why not. And someone like Bellator, with your following, with your personality, your looks, there's it's sort of full steam ahead. So, man, I'm really looking forward to seeing where your pro career goes. I'm looking forward to following it.
That's the aim, mate. Reach for the stars and all that bullshit. But I'm going to give it a try, mate. I will try my best, and that's the best I can do. I know my training's right. The guy, I am prepared for every outcome, every possible outcome. I put myself in horrible situations just so I don't encounter that for the first time in a fight. Yeah. It's not nice, but I'm ready for it, and I guess I'm just waiting for that guy. I'm ready to meet my maker. You know what I mean? And I'm ready for that big test. So hopefully, a few fights down the line, I should get that, and hopefully I get to say I fought on a big company, a big federation like Bellator. The boys fought in February on Bellator, and it was a minute just to be a part of it, to be in the back, in the back rooms, helping them get warmed up, helping prepare, sitting at ringside. That was just an experience in itself. But to fight on it, that must be something else. So that's the aim. That's the aim, Dom.
So this is what we see you do. I see you beating Ryan Bader, then you call out John Jones.
Oh, mate.
And then from there, mate, you're champ, cross promotion champ.
And then take out the heavyweight division as well.
Why not? Next Grand Prix, yeah? God, Brad, mate, I'll let you get going. I'll let you chill out after your training. But thank you for the time today, mate.
Top man, Dom. Anytime you want to speak to me, mate, or if you want to speak to Tommy, you want to speak to Joe, or you
100%.
Coaches, if you want any sort of contact with us, mate, or you want to ever make a journey up to Newcastle, you're more than welcome to come in, mate, anytime you want.
100%, I'll be doing that, mate. That sounds quality.
And I'm certain I'll see you very soon at some point, pal.
Without a doubt, man. Have a good one, all right?
Okay, Dom. Thank you very much for that.
Cheers, Brad, mate.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.